Hi and welcome back to Bulgaria. Today I'm going to explore Plovdiv, and in the preparation of this trip I've only heard good things about the city, and we're going to check that out today. I'm going to take you to the best places in Plovdiv. Let's check it out. Hi, and welcome to my trip to Bulgaria. Today I will visit Plovdiv Bulgaria, one of the great European cities for travel and possibly the best city in Bulgaria for visitors. In this Bulgaria 4K video, I will go on a travel walking tour through this very beautiful city in Europe and show you the 15 best places to see in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. My visit to Plovdiv is the next stop on my trip through Central Bulgaria. This was my first time in Bulgaria, and I was blown away by the many great places in Plovdiv. Plovdiv is a truly historic city in Southeastern Europe, and one can easily explore it by foot. If you enjoy a good walk through the streets of Eastern Europe, I have put together a great walking tour that will cover the most important things to see in Plovdiv. Plovdiv is the second largest city in Bulgaria with a population of about 350,000 and is the cultural capital of Bulgaria. Plovdiv and its iconic hills have been inhabited for 8,000 years, making it one of the most continuously settled cities in the world. Plovdiv was also known by the name of Philoppopolis, after Philip II of Macedon. Its rich cultural life, beautiful ancient setting, and laid-back atmosphere attract many foreign visitors, but it's a popular weekend destination for Bulgarians as well. I will show you some of the best churches to see in Eastern Europe, amazing historic monuments, including the ancient stadium of Philopopolis and the ancient Roman theatre, mosques, market, the Kapana nightlife district, galleries, and much more. So if you are curious about the best historic places to see on your Bulgaria trip and how to visit the city center, this video is for you. Stick around to the end for an amazing sunset in the city, captured with my drone, and a tip for a fantastic traditional barbecue restaurant serving the best Bulgarian food. Here's a map of the walking tour through Plovdiv for easy reference. This 4K travel video has chapters, so feel free to jump to the places you find most interesting. But let's get started with our tour of the 15 best places to see in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. Enjoy Plovdiv in 4K. Plovdiv is one of Europe's oldest cities, and its history dates back to 4000 before Christ. So it's super old, and there's lots of history to explore here, and we're going to check that out now. My tour through one of the great places in Eastern Europe starts a bit on the outskirts of the city of Plovdiv. Maritsa is also known as Meric in Turkish and Evros in Greek. It's a river that runs through the Balkans in Southeast Europe, and with a length of 480 kilometers or 300 miles, it is the longest river that runs solely in the interior of the Balkan Peninsula, and one of the largest in Europe by discharge. It has its origin in the Rila Mountains in western Bulgaria, which I'm covering in my next video of my Bulgaria trip. It is a great place to stroll through and was perfect for a morning walk. Check out the beautiful scenes with the birds on the river banks. Plovdiv has become a favorite for travelers from around the world. It's located about a 2.5-hour drive from Sofia in the south-central region of Bulgaria. One of the great things to do when in a new city is to explore the local markets. And I'm going to do that now. Let's have a look. My next stop of my city walking tour was a visit to the lively Thursday market. If you have seen other videos of my travels, you will have noticed that I enjoy visiting local markets. It's a great place to soak in the atmosphere of a city, and this market was no exception. Plus, the local produce is fresh, of high quality, and less pricey than in most supermarkets. The market is located just opposite of the Museum of Natural Sciences. Let's head over to the city center and the beautiful and lively pedestrian zone of Plovdiv. The main artery and pedestrianized street is Raiko Daskanov, which turns into Knyaz Alexander I. Here you will find many historic sites and lots of boutiques, national and international brand stores, cafes and restaurants. Most of this part of town is built on Roman ruins, some of which can be visited underground, but more on that later. I had some yummy snacks for breakfast here, which I got from one of the many local bakery stands. Hello. What are these? With the sugar? Yes? What is it?
Marmalade.
Marmalade? I'll take one, please. And this, what is this? Just what's inside? Sladkis.
Chocolate.
Chocolate?
Да.
Okay, I'll have one. So here's breakfast. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's extremely tasty. It is some sort of a fried dough pastry with a jam filling inside. Very, very yummy. When it was under Roman control, Plovdiv was named Philopopolis, and huge sports events took place at its stadium, which could seat up to 30,000 spectators. Nowadays, it's buried under the main pedestrian street, and one can only see fragments of the structure. You can get the best views of the ancient stadium of Philopopolis from Dzhumaya Square, where you can look over the railings down to a large section of the stadium seating. Here you can also find some helpful displays that show the monumental scale of the stadium. So this is really cool. This is in the middle of Plovdiv. The old remains of the big stadium of Philopopolis, dating to the 2nd century. And this thing is massive. This used to seat 30,000 people. And it's the last bit. Everything else hasn't been unearthed yet because it's below those buildings here in the old town. But you can get a really nice feel of what the stadium used to look like. Just next to the ancient stadium of Philoppopolis, let's visit Dzhumaya Mosque or Friday Mosque, which used to be Plovdiv's main mosque where Muslims gathered for the Friday prayer. After the Ottomans took the city in the 1300s, they built this mosque on top of a cathedral that had stood here before. From the early 15th century till the end of the 17th century, the city was predominantly inhabited by Muslims. The building one can see today is the version that was updated during the rule of Sultan Murad II. There's a Turkish cafe next to its entrance that offers original Turkish sweets and Turkish coffee. Let's continue our walk through Plovdiv's pedestrian zone, past the Miljo statue and the Plovdiv sign. Both are great photo spots. The Miljo statue shows a popular Plovdiv resident who was hearing impaired on one ear. Legend goes that if you whisper a wish near his impaired ear, it will become true. In addition, you can put your hands on his legs to increase your chances that you will meet your chosen one. So I really like the pedestrian zone of Plovdiv. It's very lively, lots to see, and it's beautifully decorated, nice houses, and it's clean. And here I'm standing at the monument of Plovdiv 2019. Plovdiv was the cultural capital of Europe in 2019, and it continues to be Bulgaria's cultural capital. So lots to see here, and just a really nice city all over. I'm now at the central square with this nice fountain, and just in front of me is the seat of the municipality of Plovdiv, a really old, nice building here. And everything looks just really beautifully and well maintained and clean. And you can tell there's lots of history in the city. Let's continue our little walking tour in the pedestrian zone of Plovdiv. Next to Plovdiv's post office are the remnants of the city's Roman Forum that intersected the two main streets, Cardo Maximus and Decamanus Maximus. One can still see the piece of Doric columns next to the Odeon where Plovdiv's council would have met. I am heading to the beautiful garden of Tsar Simeon with the singing fountains. The park is a great place to rest in the shades of the large trees that protect against the summer sun. And if you come here on summer evenings, The fountain plays music and has a special light and water show after dark. Tsar Simeon garden is definitely a nice park to hang out and enjoy the shade under the trees in the warm summer months. Really nice. What looks like a gigantic swimming pool is actually the singing fountains of Plovdiv, and that thing is massive. I'm now heading to the Alyosha monument on one of the hills of Plovdiv, but on the way there I just found the statue of Philip of Macedonia. This was of course part of his kingdom. The statue is placed in a little bit of an awkward place here in Plovdiv, just next to some office building. Well, he was an important figure in history, and I'm sure they could have probably found a better place for him, but it is what it is. My next stop requires a bit of an uphill walk. Plovdiv's 6 hills rise quite noticeably from the base of the city. There used to be even 7, but one, Nebet Tepe, was quarried for its cyanide stone in the 19th and 20th centuries. I am now heading to one of the most remarkable ones, Nebet Tepe, also known as Alyosha Hill, which is best known for the impressive Alyosha statue which stands atop as one of Plovdiv's most iconic landmarks. This Soviet-era memorial is dedicated to the Red Army for liberating Bulgaria during World War II in 1944. From here, one can get a great view of the city. Check this out. From the Alyosha Hill, I am making my way back into the city center, where I will head into the old town. First stop is the Assumption of the Holy Virgin Church, which is one of the most impressive Eastern Orthodox churches in the Plovdiv area and an iconic part of the old town. Make sure to go inside and check out the interior with the rich decoration and beautiful iconostasis. Candles are not allowed inside and are lit in advance at the entrance. My next stop is the ancient theatre, Plovdiv's most famous cultural landmark. This Roman amphitheatre is perched on top of a hill in a dramatic position overlooking the city. The theatre was only rediscovered in the 1970s after a landslide had taken place on the hill. It can seat 7,000 guests and is still in use almost 2,000 years after it was built. The theatre even still has its original Roman marble seats. During the summer months, visitors can enjoy performances by the Plovdiv Opera and other cultural performances. It's one of the world's most intact ancient theatres and offers spectacular views. Check this out. Let's continue our walk through Plovdiv's Old Town, which really is a kind of outdoor museum littered with ancient churches and mansions built by wealthy merchants from the city's past that open their doors to the public. This makes for an inspiring place where Western and Eastern cultures have interacted for centuries. Several of the mansions have been turned into museums and can be visited for 5 lev, about $3. For about $10, you can get entry into 5 participating Old Town locations. As a tip, bring comfortable shoes as you will have to walk on cobblestone streets. Let's check out one of the mansions, which houses an interesting art exhibition. So when you come to the old town of Plovdiv, you can get such a pass for 15 lev. It is about $11 or so, and for that you can visit up to five museums or old houses. I'm here in a really beautiful one, which is now a gallery. And that houses an exhibition, a permanent exhibition of Zlatyu Boyadzhiev. Zlatyu Boyadzhiev was a 20th century Bulgarian painter from Plovdiv. His work is generally divided into 2 main periods: the time until 1951, where he painted in a neoclassical style, and after 1951, when he suffered a stroke and continued working with his left hand, and in a completely different manner. A small but interesting museum in a beautiful historical villa showcases his work and legacy. My next stop is the Regional Ethnographic Museum, which is located in another typical merchant's house built in the mid-19th century. The museum has gathered more than 40,000 items relating to Bulgarian folk culture over the centuries, and you can see authentic musical instruments, fabrics, clothing, handicraft and farm tools. The interior is stunning, and the collection definitely worth a visit. But I also enjoyed the small but beautiful garden. Check this out. Just a short walk further up the hill, we will get to Nebet Tepe, one of the 3 hills of the old town. The earliest settlements on Nebet Tepe date back 6,000 years. The site was first settled by Thracians and later expanded by Philip II of Macedon and the Roman Empire. As the town expanded over time, Nebet Tepe became the citadel of the town's Acropolis. Today it's in ruins, but you can still see the remains of the city's walls, towers, and a postern from the time of Justinian leading down to the Maritsa River. But the main reason why you should come here are the amazing views. Check this out. From here you have a really nice view of Plovdiv and the surroundings. Check that out. I'm making my way through the cobblestone streets of the old town back to the city center. make sure you stop for a picture at the Zanko Larenov's sculpture in front of the Academy of Music, Dance and Fine Art. The building also shows a remarkable mural on its city-facing side. Down in the city, let's check out the famous Kapana district. Kapana means a trap in Bulgarian, a term that was coined due to the labyrinth-like street composition. Once you get in, they say it's hard to get out. Kapana is now the creative heart of the city, a pedestrianized area full of restaurants, craft beer bars, art shops, ateliers, galleries and festivals. But if you plan to have dinner here, make sure you make a reservation well in advance. The restaurants are high in demand, with locals and visitors alike, and getting a table in the evening is close to impossible. For my last tip, I want to explore the famous sunset of Plovdiv. All of the 6 hills of Plovdiv will make for great spots to watch the sunset, but I chose to head back into the old town. Check this out. So, these were my 15 tips for what to see in Plovdiv, but I have a bonus tip for you, and that is to have dinner at a traditional barbecue restaurant. My choice was Joanna, because it came recommended and was close to where I stayed. It's open 24/7 and the barbecue chicken skewers were phenomenal. But there are obviously many excellent restaurants in Plovdiv, and I had great food in several places. Dinner here means big cuts of char-grilled meat, clay pot stews, meat and mushrooms on skewers, yogurt and fresh shopska salad, made with tomatoes, cucumbers, onions and peppers. Make sure to also check out my Bulgarian food video for more tips. Alright, this was it from Plovdiv, and if you enjoyed this video, please also check out my other videos in beautiful Bulgaria and many other travel destinations in the Balkans, and I hope I see you in the next video. Have a good one.